Okay, guys. Yeah, so right now I'm on this you know, the energy is around this narcissist thing. A lot of people are opening up and just because it's pervasive. Like I said in the last video, it's the matrix wheels on the matrix machine is narcissism. It's what makes it go. Um and it's no joke. It ruins lives. It's amazing. I have another story I'll be sharing tomorrow morning because I received an email from another person regarding their story of abuse, and I had tears in my eyes. I was crying when I was responding back. It's very emotional. It's very relatable. These stories, guys, and it saddens me to the point where it would be called sorrow to know that this kind of stuff is so pervasive. There's literally billions of people on this earth that suffer through this every day, um, in some form or fashion. Again, narcissistic abuse is not just an abusive spouse. It's not just an abusive parent. It's the whole matrix system. That's why for proper healing, guys, we have to recognize the patterns of abuse and control. Because when I do this video tomorrow for this person, you're going to see once you watch Sue's 3 videos and then you watch this person's video tomorrow, guys, it's going to start becoming very apparent the patterns to which their abusers, their narcissists, their predators were preying on them and sucking them dry of life and energy. And you're going to notice the patterns. You're going to be able to start seeing these patterns that project into society, all of society. Every business, the way business runs, the way government runs, the way industries run, the way these NGOs run, the way the whole system from top to bottom runs is narcissistic abuse. It's all abuse. It's all trauma. It's all taking us away and stripping us of what it means to be human. Um, and its purpose is to confuse you, obfuscate the truth. That means like completely like double speak and everything else, obfuscate the truth, like always going around, beating around the bush, always never getting to the point, always, there's 5,000 different things. And it's the truth is so simple, guys. The truth is so easy and simple. It's just it's so hard for us to be firm and know that we're right, because all the systems of control for our whole lives and all of our propaganda and programming and indoctrination is based off of lies and manipulation and illusion and the skewing of reality. And it's so confusing, and it's so energy draining, and it's constantly burdening us with shame and guilt for things that we didn't do. The system, all of these systems of control are based on problem, reaction, solution. Okay? Humanity would have none of these problems if there was no government, if there was no business, if there was no material possessions. None of these problems would exist. In that Fundamental Foundation for Freedom series, I had read a quote by an Indian chief, and he spoke of how they had no jails, but they had nobody to put in jails before the white man. They had nobody stole anything because nothing belonged to anybody. They had no sense of ownership of material possessions. They gave it no value. The value was in the individual and in the community working together. They had they there's quotes of Indians, and when I say Indians, guys, I'm speaking of Native Americans, okay? As we know them, as history has told us what they are, the original inhabitants supposedly of the Americas, North America, right? Um there's quotes of these old chiefs saying how the white man arrived and tried giving them paper currency and these currencies for their land, and they couldn't understand, like, what are you talking about? And they'd tell him, they'd be like, take your currency and put it in the fire. And the white man would go, oh, no, no, I can't do that. Why can't you do that? Well, it'll destroy my value, my currency. And the Indians would go, well, that's why we can't give you our land, because fire does not destroy our land. You can't take our land. It's not even ours to give. So, it's the fact, guys, for generations that we've been inundated and indoctrinated into these systems of enslavement. And it's become so natural and so pervasive in society and culture that everybody is just constantly making sure they're obeying the law. And if they see somebody else not obeying the law, they tell on them. Or they point fingers. They see homeless people. They see people. They've got it so ingrained, this consumerism lifestyle into us, this materialist lifestyle so ingrained into us, that we see bums on the street, we see homeless people, we see drug addicts, and we point fingers and we put our nose up and we go, ew. It's disgusting how we treat each other, guys. And all these people are products of sick environments and sick societies. Again, going back to these tribes, if these indigenous tribes, when somebody gets sick in their tribe, the whole tribe comes and thanks them for taking that sickness for the tribe. Because these indigenous tribes are still connected, they still are in touch with a lot of their empathy and their biological connection and spiritual connection to all things on those levels of existence. So they understand that as a community, that when somebody gets sick, it's because they were the weakest link in the community, that it can happen to any one of them next, and it's going to happen to the next person. So they all gather around and thank that person. Okay. Another thing, energy transference, guys. Everything's energy. This whole narcissist thing is all energy transference. Okay, so in a lot of these indigenous cultures, when somebody gets a stomach ache or something's wrong with them, they get a cancer or something happens within them, they go to the shaman. And you know what the shaman does? The shaman will take a live animal like a rat or a gerbil or, some kind of small furry animal, and he'll place it over the part of the body and transfer that energy from the body into that animal. Guys, this stuff is real. This is what we need to start opening our eyes to, is our inherent connection to all things, on the spiritual existence and on the physical existence. We have been stripped of our birthright. We have been told and programmed to think that we are nothing, that we came from apes, that our lives have no purpose, no meaning, that we need nutrition, we need guidance, we need laws, we need police, we need government, we need educators, we need certificates, we need everything that they want to give us, that they profit off of. They have made it that way for generations now. We are so ingrained thinking that all of these things are true, when not one of them are true. We are being stripped as I speak. Each one of us is stripped of our birthright. It is up to us to take personal responsibility and reclaim our birthright, to reclaim our authority over ourselves. Enough of this. We have to stop playing. Each one of us individually has to stop playing and participating in these systems of control, in these systems of governance, in these systems of abuse and trauma. Because guys, by continuing to participate and continuing to just go along to get along and continuing to keep our head down and not say anything, we are perpetrating and propagating this enslavement on others. It is our duty as a human. We can speak. It is our duty as a human, what it means to be human. It is our duty to speak. That is our power. That is really our only power. They are in control of armies and militaries and police forces and everything else that can lock us up for taking action against them. That's obviously not on the table. There's no action to be taken. You know the action we take? The action we take is quit participating in their games. Quit playing their games. Quit being silent while this stuff goes on around us and start speaking out. Quit participating. Quit going to our jobs and small talking with our friends and with our associates and with these people we know about rigged sports and all these things that don't matter, that keep us enslaved and entertained and distracted from the truth and what really matters. Stop. Now, today, that's your power. Stop putting poisons in your mouth. That's your power. You control that. Stop giving your money up to these systems. Find every way possible you can get all your bills down to as little as possible and figure out for yourself in your specific scenario, in your situation, in your life, how you can get away from participating in every way possible from this matrix. That's how we heal. That's how we heal individually, and that's how we heal as a species called human. The human species, an eternal, all-knowing, all-powerful, empathic soul connected to everything on that level of existence, occupying the most advanced biological thing on this earth that's connected to everything biologically. It is time we start acting appropriately. These are powerful. And these are the most powerful guys. I'm a testament sitting here for the past 2 years figuring this out. What exactly this is going on here. And the truth was not outside of me. I had to quit going outside of me to look for those answers because it was so confusing. When you go outside of yourself for answers, there's thousands of different options to choose from, different philosophies, different experts, different teachers, different gurus, different leaders, different governments, different monetary systems, different, you name it, different education, everything. And all of it is a lie. All of it is false. All of it is fake. All of it is toxic. All of it is non-conducive to biological and spiritual existence. All of it. Because it strips the power from the individual and it turns them into either an animal, the apex predator, or a consummate consumer, a materialist. Or it turns them into, well, if you want to be in our tribe, you got to give up your individuality. Any group, any kind of thing, trying to get that to happen is wrong right off the bat and should not be participated in. The most important thing in this world is the individual. Each one of us, our lives matter. Each one of us is especially important because each one of us is that eternal soul occupying the most advanced thing on this earth. Each one of us. It doesn't matter your social status. It doesn't matter where you're at in your family line. It doesn't matter where you're at work, what kind of job you do. It doesn't matter if you're a bum on the street, a drug addict. It doesn't matter. Guys, we have millions of people suffering around. I mean, unbelievable types of suffering. And then 80% of those that are left are suffering, but they don't even know it. They're just dopamine hitting and distracting themselves with bread and circuses just to be able to go to work every day and keep up. They're bamboozling themselves. They're gaslighting themselves. You can't control anybody else. The only person you can control is yourself. You can't save anybody else. The only person you can save is yourself. You can't make anybody in this world do a goddamn thing. Only you can make yourself quit participating, quit poisoning yourself. Face your cognitive dissonance, face your issues, face the lies and manipulations, face the abuse and trauma that you've gone through, and face the abuse and trauma that you've propagated and perpetrated on others. And admit it. You must lead with truth. You must be courageous. You must take personal responsibility. It's absolutely necessary. Nothing's going to change if you don't. And again, we're not here trying to change the world. These systems that seem so broken, they were meant to be like that. All of these systems were meant to be like that. They are broken on purpose. They are broken for a reason. They are broken because they are meant to confuse you and keep you distracted and keep you operating on an abusive program so that way you don't come to realize your true potential and power as a human and what it means to be a human. They are consuming your energy and your life force. They have stolen your birthright. But the good news is that we can take it back. We just have to want to take it back. We have to get out from under the umbrella of their safety, of their comforts, of their distractions, of their entertainment. We have to be willing to let all that go. In the ego, if you're operating out of ego and not addressing your ego, it's going to be impossible because that's all the ego has ever known, and that's why the ego even exists. It's a survival mechanism. All you're doing is surviving in ego. We need to detach. We need to recognize and accept things for what they are, everything. We need to quit playing these games, quit participating, because by our participation, we are perpetrating and propagating the abuse. I've done videos talking about child rapists and murderers and or child predators, murderers, rapists, bank robbers, all that stuff, and how they're no different than us. There's no level of evil. Evil is evil. Bad is bad. There's no level of, okay, I can participate in this, even though it goes against what being human means. As soon as you get away and refuse to act accordingly as a human, as an eternal soul occupying a physical body and not take the responsibility and live as such, you are creating cognitive dissonance in your head. You can't run on both programs because the programmings don't work. They don't work, guys. It's not going to work. It's one or the other. You have to make a choice. You have to make a choice. If you've been sitting on the fence for the past year, for the past 5 years, 10 years, your whole life, if you've been sitting on the fence, knowing what's right, but refusing to listen to your intuition and follow what you know is innately right and correct, and instead just blindly going along with things, that needs to stop. If you've been keeping your mouth closed and not saying all these things that are fucked up and calling these things out, if you've been under the thumb of a narcissist, if you have family members that have been under the thumb and are being severely abused, and you are working with the narcissist because you're afraid of the narcissist and you don't want to be on their bad side, so you choose to help the narcissist abuse people, you need to stop. This has to come to an end, and only we can end it. You guys, none of these systems exist without our participation. And to live in fear and be like, well, I'm the only one that's wanting to give it all up, and if I do, then they're all going to come after me. And we are eternal souls inside of a physical body. They got people dying left and right all the time. You're poisoning yourself with poisonous food. You're poisoning yourself with the entertainment and all the propaganda that you put inside yourself constantly, with the bad programming that you've been running off of that says all this stuff's okay. Living your life to make a fake currency, to be able to put poisons in your body and distract yourself from the slavery. So who cares if you die? Who cares? Why would you care if you die? I would rather die right now at this second, a free man speaking my truth, than to live one more second under somebody's rule and thumb and think and being afraid to speak and act the way I want to speak and act. Now, of course, I'm still healing. I'm still detaching. There's still things that, of course, I have to comply with. I still have a driver's license. I still have a car. I still have a job, right? So there's still things I got to do. But I'm saying, you got to. There's 1,000. You'll be surprised when you really sit here and see how pervasive this is through everything. How you can pull back your attention and your worship and your focus and energy and from all of these things where you've been given away and reclaim your authority from all of these things and start focusing on yourself and start detaching. Huge detachments. Things you're attached to you don't even realize. Don't forget all your possessions, all these things behind me here, all my possessions here possess me. That's the way it works. It doesn't possess me consciously all day. I'm thinking, oh my God, I got to take care of this, got to do. No, but in my subconscious, I own all this. This is all mine. And therefore it owns me. That's how it works. Your possessions possess you. Start getting rid of shit. Start getting rid of shit. Start cutting it out of your life. Unnecessary shit. And don't do it all at once. Because if you jump into this healing thinking, okay, I'm just going to get rid of everything. I'm going to stop everything. I'm going to quit all my addictions. It's not going to happen. You're going to go out like a goddamn falling star. Burn brightly and real quick, and then you're going to go right back into the same shit that you were in before. And now you're going to have cognitive dissonance because now you're going to be aware of what's right and correct, but you're not going to be able to live that way because you burn out. And then you think it's bad now, wait till you do that, and then you really got a war inside your head. How do you take care of that? Drugs, alcohol, sex, anything, any kind of vice, probably all of them, because each one's going to eventually wear out. You're only going to be able to drink so much and drug so much. So, yeah, it's time to be courageous, guys. It's time to stop the insanity. It's time to take control. It's time to exercise what free will we have, what we put in and on our bodies and minds. That's our free will. Our ability to speak is our power. That is so powerful. And if you haven't done it yet, you need to try it. Because we are making leaps and bounds with humans healing on the Embodied Souls channel, with people sharing their stories and getting into their healing and getting deeper and being able to introspect further and being able to figure things out on their own. On their own, guys. We're doing this without paying shrinks thousands of dollars, without being on pills for thousands of dollars, my brother, look at my brother. He's been seeing a shrink for at least a dozen years now. And he's so lost in the sauce and ignoring his shit and not facing his trauma and abuse. What's that shrink doing? What's those thousands of dollars he dumps on that shrink every year? Where's that going to? To make him feel better? What is it, like a refueling? He goes there and dumps on his shrink and then gets out of there after an hour and goes, oh, I feel better. I'll see you next month, and doesn't change a goddamn thing. Guys, we have to be our own experts. We have to quit outsourcing our power and giving away our authority and abilities and giving them to people who are only interested in helping us for monetary gain or for other selfish reasons. True healing's never going to come like that. You're going to spin around in circles and wear yourself out. You're going to confuse yourself even further. So, again, guys, you can hit me up with your story, share your story. You can remain anonymous if you want. But I suggest you going over there to Embodied Souls channel, checking out people's stories, reading their comments. I mean, we've been doing this for a while now, for a couple months. I've been sharing people's stories, and you can read, those videos I've shared. Those aren't in a playlist yet, so you just have to go back and peruse over the past couple months of people sharing their stories. I'll try getting those in a playlist here soon. But yeah, Sue's story's up now. I'll be sharing another listener's story tomorrow morning. I'll be doing that video, and yeah, it's powerful, man. This is what needs to happen. If you guys are stuck in your healing, if you're tired, if you've been spinning around circles, if you're ready to give up, ready to quit, guys, this is where the power's at. Speaking out. This is our power, and we need to exercise it. So, guys, take care of yourselves out there, okay? Because nobody else will.